And those are the swimmers here with a chance to take him down in the fastest heat. And Bobby Fink of Florida has the fastest time in the nation this year, just a freshman. And his time of 14:23 at the SECs. And then there's Felix Aubach of Michigan in lane number 5, who's been the runner-up in this event each of the last 2 years. Man, Rowdy, he desperately wants this one.
He does, and I'm having my doubts only because of his performance, and quite honestly, Fink's performance up to this point. He was 35th, I'm talking about Aubach, 35th in the 500 freestyle, an event that he finished second in last year. And then Fink, who came in with a sensational 14:23, that's the 5th fastest swim in history. He was 43rd in the 500. So unless there's a big switch here between that second day, which was on Thursday, to this now on Saturday, it leaves the door open. That's all I'm saying for some of the other kids.
And one of those other guys you might keep an eye on is down toward the bottom in lane number 7. Now, lane 1's at the top, lane 8's at the bottom. In lane 7, Nick Norman of Cal. Now, we have Patrick Murphy here from USA Swimming alongside us. He, of course, is Ryan Murphy's brother. And Patrick says that Nick Norman of Cal is a guy to keep an eye on here. He could take this out of lane number 7.
Well, he did a great job in the 500, meaning he went 8. He only got 18th, but he improved his time. There's some other good 500 freestylers. Vargas from Michigan right above Norman, finished 4th in the 500. So you've got some guys. Casey up at the top was 4th in the 400 IM. So there's some really good swimmers in here. And again, my money at the beginning of this meet would have totally been on Fink, just based on this year's time. He's 6 seconds ahead of Aubach coming into this meet. But again, he did not have a good 500 freestyle, and he was 25th in the 400 IM. So he didn't follow up the 500 free with a very good 400 IM.
Robert Fink in lane number 4, running about 5th right now, early on in the 1650 at the Pan Pacific Championships in Tokyo last August. Remember, he's just a freshman this year, but big international meet of the 2018 summer. He was 3rd in the mile, 3/10 behind Zane Grothe, and 2 seconds behind Jordan Wilimowski.
And this is, without a doubt, Fink's best race. I mean, he came to Austin to swim the mile. Make no doubt about it. That's the race that he has the best chance to score and obviously best chance to win. So I know Anthony Nesti and the coaches all said, listen, we've come here to swim the mile. Let's go out there and do what you did at SECs. And I still believe he can do it. He's just got to overcome the disappointments of the 500 and the 400 IM, which, again, are not his best events. This is his best event.
At the top, Chris Yeager of Texas, who won the 1650 at the Texas Invitational last fall here in his home pool. He's toward the top. Nick Norman of Cal, the Pac-12 1650 champion, both 2018 and 2019. By the way, this year he shaved 6 seconds off his time from 2018. He has the lead early on here. 66 lengths of the pool in the 1650.
Kind of bunched up together, and we start looking at the earlier heats. Again, this is the final heat. It's not a final. 4:26 was the 500 split that Grisham put up. Going in, I didn't even think 35 might even score. But right now, based on some of the performance of these guys earlier in the meet, Brenniger was 26th in the 500. Eden, down from Notre Dame, was 14th in the 500. I really believe Grisham's got a chance to do a pretty good job. Patrick's making us look good, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Norman.
Nick Norman of Cal, 2 above him. Felix Aubach of Michigan, the runner-up in this event the last 2 years, and then 2 above him in lane number 3, Michael Brenniger of Indiana, the Big Ten champion of the mile with the 3rd fastest time in the country this year, and an Indiana school record of 14:31.
53 plus there for Norman. Here's the 500 mark. Let's check that against Grisham. Well, they're way faster. A lot of guys are faster. In fact, 6, 7, 8 guys, all 8 guys are faster than Grisham's time.
Remember last year we were here, or last week we were here, Rowdy, and Abby Weitzel of Cal had that great meet. She got injured toward the end of the meet, though she finished gamely, swimming well even in spite of the injury. And she's here this week cheering on the Cal Bear men, and she's downstairs. Let's find out more about what's going on with Abby and that injury and check in with Kat LaRocca.
Thank you, Rich. And thank you, Abby, for joining us on your weekend off here. Now, last time we saw you in this pool, at the end of that relay, you hurt your arm. Can you kind of take us through that moment and what that felt like?
Yeah, so I basically just came down on the wall wrong. I thought the wall was farther away than it was, and I kind of just jammed my elbow, and I remember touching the wall, and I was like, it's just in like a lot of pain all of a sudden. And I remember looking up at like my teammates, and I was like, my elbow, my elbow, my elbow, and they were like, oh my gosh, what happened? And I mean, injuries happen. It's not broken. There's no tears. It turned out to be just sprained ligaments, sprained muscles in there. So it's still sore, but we're good.
Now, when we spoke last week, you said that the doctor said there was nothing broken, so you could swim if you could handle the pain. What did that pain exactly feel like while you were racing and finishing out those events that final day?
Honestly, like, I had my arm stuck in a certain position with the wrap and the tape, so I couldn't extend it all the way, which is what we wanted. And honestly, the first couple swims was getting used to it, like figuring out how to swim with that. And it was painful, but it hurt more at the end of the race when I touched the wall. Like, I would touch the wall and I feel like just pain would shoot down my arm. But during the race, it was just kind of figuring out how to swim when I couldn't hold water or anything. I just kind of kicked harder.
Well, I'd say you made a lot of fans then, because it was really impressive what you were able to do. You couldn't even get your cap on, it seemed. How much did your teammates have to help you throughout that? I mean, you were swimming in the finals and everything. It was incredible.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, the first night and the next day that it happened, they had to help me, put my hair in a bun, and Terry was like, just have them do it for you. And so I had to have my hair put in a bun the first couple days and the cap on, but I figured it out soon enough.
Well, that's what teammates are for, I guess. So you had an incredible collegiate career so far. What are you hoping to accomplish next year as a senior?
I mean, honestly, I've been figuring things out along the way, and so definitely going a best time for me this year was like awesome. I haven't gone a best time in a long time in my favorite events and everything. So going a best time in the 50 and being able to break my record was really awesome. So next year I would just be striving for the same thing, being able to re-break a record or go a best time. And, I was hoping I'd be able to get a chance to try and go 45 in the 100, but I'll take it. I mean, I got to swim it, and that's all that matters. And so maybe next year.
That's what next year's for. How about this weekend, though? What's it like to have the roles reversed, and now you're in the stands getting to cheer on the men's team?
It's so fun. I love it. It's so much fun. This week was our spring break, so I was able to come out. Me and Katie McLaughlin and our friend Maggie came out to support the men's team, and we went home, but we came back, so kind of got like a refresher. And it's so much fun. I love the Cal family. Everyone's up there. So many alumni up there, and it's just awesome. And the guys are doing so good, and I'm friends with a lot of them, and it's such a fun environment. I love it.
Well, they've certainly given you a lot to cheer for. Have fun tonight. Enjoy watching with everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah, Abby Weitzel, the NCAA and American record holder in the 50 free. She had set that mark back in 2016, and it took her a few years, but she broke it again this year. And Rowdy, no major injury for her, and that's good news for Team USA coming up for the World Championships in South Korea in July.
Not only good news for Team USA, but also certainly good news for the Cal Bears there.
So we are past the halfway point now in the 1650, and Felix Abach of Michigan, as we approach the 1,000-yard mark. Abach in the yellow cap in lane number 5 with the lead. 2 above him, Michael Brenniger of Indiana, and down toward the bottom, Nick Norman of Cal. Those are the 3 front runners right now, separated by about a second and a half.
Yeah, and they're all going in that 26.2 to 26.4 range as far as their 50 splits. But every single, when I say 26.2, it's the guy in the middle. He's going 26.2s. The guys on the outside are actually going 26.3, 26.4s, and that's exactly what happened there. Abach with 26.2, Brenniger 26.5, and Norman 26.4. So he's inching a little bit ahead every single 50. So certainly you don't want to lose contact if you want to have a chance over the last 500. And let me say this about Abach. Again, 35th in the 500. he was 38th in the 200 freestyle. I don't know where this is coming from, but I know Michigan and Mike Bottom are certainly happy it's coming now. And you kind of are pulling for him a little bit just because of the fact that he was second the last 2 years, right, Rich?
And especially with what happened 2 years ago. And remember that race that took place in Indianapolis at the NCAA championships? Clark Smith, Albach, Akram Mahmoud, and Jordan Wilimowski all were within 1 second of each other in the mile, and Clark Smith ended up winning it.
And it was really one of the great races in NCAA history. When you think about the mile, you think, oh my gosh, what are you talking about? 66 lengths, how can that be exciting? Trust me, it was one of the most exciting, most exhilarating races you'll ever want to see. And you're right, it was wonderful to watch. Heartbreaking for the other guys that didn't win it. Great for Clark Smith, and maybe a little bit of sweet justice here building for Arbach.
They're under NCAA record pace. Felix Albach is in lane number 5. Albach last year finished second to Anton Ibsen of North Carolina State. Ibsen was a senior.
Well, the record pace, the American record pace is 10:51. They're not on that, but they are right on NCAA record pace of Smith. 10:56, they were 10:57, I should say. Albach was 10:57. 11:05 right there for Fink. He's way off the pace now.
It's Felix Albach of Michigan, the runner-up the last 2 years. Been so close to winning this, especially 2 years ago, less than a second. That was the difference. Last year, about 5 seconds. Is this his time? Finally, the junior from Vienna, Austria.
26-2 again, Rich. Now he's a full second under that pace that Clark Smith set. And this would be one of the great comebacks, I think, when you're talking about recent college collegiate championships. This would rank, certainly for me, one of the great comebacks, considering where he was the first couple of days and the times he put up.
The time to beat, 14:35.82. That's from Sean Grisham in the 4th heat, which took place before we came on the air. And it's looking certainly like Felix Albach of Michigan is going to beat that. And Rowdy, 250 yards to go now. And Albach in position to do this, the Rio Olympian for Austria.
Yep, 12:14, still about a second and a half under that pace. 12:41.7 is the pace coming up at this wall right here. 12:41.7. Let's look at it. He's going to be under, no question. Look at that, about a second and a half. Still holding that 26.2, actually 26 flat there on that 50.
Now, Rowdy, you and I called a race back in 2016 in Atlanta when Chris Swanson of Penn stormed from behind at about the last 200 yards. He had a lot left in the tank, and he overtook Akram Mahmoud of South Carolina. If anybody, such as Brenniger or Norman, were going to do it, they'd have to start that kick now.
Well, that kind of came out of the blue, didn't it? It was lane almost 8. Like it was almost the last 50 too, Rich. It was one of those like 23 low splits the last 50. I don't see it happening here. There's too much experience with Albach. Albach's the junior, Brenniger's the freshman, and by the way, Brenniger's having a tremendous swim. He's going to be one to watch for sure for years to come. I swam with his mother, an Olympian, back in 1976. She was on several national teams with me, so he's got some great genes. And this is looking confusing right now, Rich. I'll let you figure it all out. But just know that this guy right there in the middle with the yellow cap is in the lead.
Yep, he's about to lap Ricardo Vargas, his Michigan teammate. It is Felix Albach of Michigan who has the lead. You mentioned Brenniger. His mom, Jennifer also swam at Indiana. So bright future for him indeed. But it's Albach. And under 50 yards to go now for Felix Albach of Michigan. The NCAA record, 14:22.41. Clark Smith set 2 years ago.
19:20. Boy, it's going to be close. I don't think he's going to get it.
Just shy of it, 14:23.09. And that is the 6th fastest swim in history. Felix Aubach of Michigan is an NCAA champion. The runner-up in this event the last 2 years finally has it in the bag. And look at that. He is excited. Been a long time coming for the Austrian, for the Michigan Wolverines, Felix Aubach.
So sweet. These guys work so hard. They're the last ones out of the pool every single day. First one's in, last one's out. 66 lengths of the pool. And how about this freshman? 14:27. Boy, he's going to be good for years to come. There were a lot of young kids in this heat right now. And you know, this event is looking like it's going to be great for years to come.
Oh boy, it sure is. And this is the result from this heat only. And we'll show you the results with all the heats put together in a moment. But right now, Aubach, the winner, and then Brinegar, second.